Thank you so much for joining us for this edition of CBN Newswatch. I'm Ephraim Graham. Ahead today, Israeli forces finding more and more evidence in Lebanon of Hezbollah's plans and preparations to launch a deadly massacre of Israel. We're going to bring you the story from Jerusalem. Why did Hamas launch those deadly sneak attacks on Israel last October 7th? The answer could be found inside Hamas's own charter, which calls for the destruction of the Jewish state. With just 3 weeks to go before Election Day, the presidential candidates are focusing on the key swing states, and Pennsylvania may be the most critical of all. We're going to hear what the voters in the Keystone State have to say. And an innovation from Israel to help fight one of the biggest headaches of modern life, gridlock in traffic. All those stories and more ahead today, right now on CBN Newswatch.
This is CBN Newswatch.
Lots to get to this Tuesday. Let's begin in the Middle East, where the Israeli Defense Forces are finding more and more evidence in Lebanon of Hezbollah's planning and preparation for an October 7th-style massacre. Israel also says a deadly drone strike against its soldiers won't stop it from carrying out its war against the terrorist group. CBN Middle East correspondent Julie Stahl brings us the story. She reports from Jerusalem.
The IDF is revealing a massive underground command center it discovered in southern Lebanon, a stronghold to launch a surprise attack on Israel by Hezbollah's most elite fighters.
Do a raid into Israel and do a larger scale of massacre than the 7th of October. They were planned with the motorcycles here to go to Kiryat Shmona, to Iftach, to villages and positions inside Israel and conduct a massacre.
The command center is located under a Lebanese house a little over a mile from the border with Israel. The bunker and tunnel system were loaded with weapons and facilities where Hezbollah terrorists could either launch out or hunker down, which they apparently were doing very recently.
They were only here a couple of days ago, in those beds with those weapons here.
Israeli leaders paid respects to those lost in Sunday's deadly drone strike at an IDF base. Israel's top general, its defense minister, and prime minister all on hand. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said this brutal assault that killed 4 and wounded more than 60 won't deter Israel from carrying out its war on Hezbollah.
I want to make it clear, we will continue to hit Hezbollah without mercy in all parts of Lebanon, as well as in Beirut.
The funeral for Sergeant Amitai Alon, one of the 4 soldiers killed, was held Monday. His mother, Hagit, wept next to her son's coffin.
It feels like our heart was ripped out.
As Israel considers its retaliatory strike against Iran, Israel reportedly has promised the U.S. that it won't hit any nuclear or oil production facilities. U.S. officials tell the Wall Street Journal the strike will likely hit military and intelligence targets. It's expected to take place before the November 5th elections. In response to the news that the U.S. is sending a missile defense system and about 100 troops to operate the system, Iran has reportedly cut off communications with the U.S. and is making accusations of escalating the conflict.
We do not want war, although we are fully prepared for it.
Meanwhile, European Union nations are angry with Israel after strikes on Hezbollah positions in southern Lebanon wounded UN peacekeepers nearby. Netanyahu says charges that Israel deliberately attacked the peacekeepers are false. He claims Hezbollah deliberately fires rockets near UN positions, and Israel has repeatedly warned UN peacekeepers to pull back and get out of harm's way.
Hezbollah uses UNIFIL facilities and positions as cover while it attacks Israeli cities and communities.
Julie Stahl, CBN News, Jerusalem.
Israel's wars began with Hamas sneak attacks on October 7th of last year. The ideological roots of Hamas's massacre are found inside the group's charter. As CBN's Dale Hurd explains, the document is the terror group's blueprint for the ultimate destruction of Israel.
No one who has read the Hamas charter should be surprised by the slaughter that took place October 7. Created at the terror group's founding, it states that Israel will exist and will continue to exist until Islam will obliterate it.
Genocide of Jews.
Jonathan Conricus is a former IDF spokesman and a senior fellow at the Foundation for Defense of Democracies.
The Hamas charter is It is a charter to perform genocide against Israelis and to annihilate the state of Israel as we know it.
It's full of references to the destruction of Israel.
Hillel Frisch is a senior researcher at the Jerusalem Institute for Security and Strategy.
The document has one very specific purpose, and that is to call for the destruction of the state of Israel, to organize all Muslims for that purpose, and create a military terrorist force.
An offshoot of Egypt's Muslim Brotherhood, the name Hamas is an Arabic acronym for Islamic Resistance Movement. Its original charter reads like something written in Nazi Germany. Article 22 says of Jews, with their money they took control of the world media, news agencies, the press, publishing houses, broadcasting stations, and others. The document blames Jews for the French and Communist revolutions, World Wars I and II, and states Jews created the United Nations to enable them to rule the world. There is no war going on anywhere, the document reads, without having Jews' finger in it. The charter even blames Jews for the creation of the Rotary and Lions clubs, which Hamas apparently sees as sinister forces. The document also quotes from the Quran and from a Muslim hadith. The day of judgment will not come about until Muslims fight Jews and kill them. Then the Jews will hide behind rocks and trees, and the rocks and trees will cry out, "O Muslim, there is a Jew hiding behind me. Come and kill him." Hamas issued a revised charter in 2017, which softened some of the original's violent and anti-Semitic rhetoric. However, Conricus says the October 7th massacre exposed the revised charter as a fraud.
All that was a smokescreen, and Hamas very cleverly misled Israeli decision makers until they revealed what their real intentions were, and they did that on October the 7th.
Article 13 in the original charter rejects any negotiated settlement and says the only solution for the Palestinian question is jihad, holy war. Frisch says the dilemma over negotiating with Hamas is that it would likely allow the group to remain in power.
And within 2-3 years, they'll be exactly at the same point as they were on October 6th, the day before the slaughter.
Hopefully, in the future, there will be peace to be made with the Palestinians. Many Israelis want to make peace with the Palestinians. Israel has tried, but there's no peace to be made with Hamas.
That's because the Hamas charter forbids peace until Israel is destroyed. Dale Hurd, CBN News.
Coming up, the presidential campaign is heading into the home stretch with both Donald Trump and Kamala Harris focusing on Pennsylvania. We're going to bring you a look at where the race stands in that key swing state when we come back. The presidential race is in the home stretch, and both candidates are focusing on the key swing states that will decide who wins the White House. Pennsylvania may prove to be one of the most important of all, giving the winner the victory in the Electoral College. Polls show an extremely tight race there. CBN's Jenna Browder traveled to the Keystone State to hear what voters have to say.
It's election season in all-important Pennsylvania. From the big cities to the small towns and communities.
We'll do that for you from the White House, all right?
Both campaigns are crisscrossing the state and spending big bucks here. And for good reason. Pennsylvania has 19 electoral votes, more than any other battleground state. And if history is any indication, voters here have picked 10 of the last 12 presidential winners.
Kamala Harris, of course.
In Philadelphia, we found overwhelming support for Vice President Harris.
I feel as though she's more for the people. Women's rights, and just for the people.
And that's expected. Harris has to run up her numbers here and in other big cities. She also has to build on Democrats' success in surrounding suburbs.
This race will not be won in Pittsburgh or Philadelphia.
Selena Zito with the Washington Examiner lives in Pennsylvania and is very familiar with the state's politics.
This race will be won in other counties. by about 500 extra voters in each county over what happened in 2020.
And that's why both campaigns are making Pennsylvania's rural communities a priority.
This is Johnstown in western Pennsylvania. The area went for Trump in 2016 and 2020, but this time around, the Harris campaign could see an opportunity.
She's for people.
In the downtown area, we found more support for Harris than former President Trump.
I'm a small business owner, and she's all about, helping small businesses.
But if signs on the edges of town and those lining every road we traveled mean anything, Trump remains as strong as ever in this part of the state.
I'm a Trump guy, and I'm voting for Donald Trump.
25 miles north in Indiana, Pennsylvania, Trump enthusiasm appeared as electric as ever. Thousands coming from across western Pennsylvania to support the 45th president, some waiting upwards of 10 hours in the rain to get in.
Sometimes we don't like the mean tweets and so forth, but his policies are spot on for this country, and we need help.
I work for my money. I don't want to keep giving it away.
One group of women even drove all the way from upstate New York.
And what made you all want to come 6 hours to be here?
We love President Trump, and I feel like it's now more important than ever to actually show your support for a candidate, and he's definitely going to win.
Trump is looking to expand his numbers in these rural counties that he carried with more than 70% in 2020. He also needs to chip away at Harris's strength in the big cities and suburbs. Other key areas of the state include Northampton and Erie counties, both bellwethers for the race.
I expect a lot of time spent by Trump and Vance in Erie. That is the most important county, not just in the state, but in the entire country. As go Erie County, so goes the rest of the country.
The X factor in it all is turnout. Polling in Pennsylvania consistently shows about 95% of voters already have their minds made up. The goal for both campaigns is to attract just a few from the other camp. In this all-important battleground state, we'll be watching closely on election night. In Pennsylvania, Jenna Browder, CBN News.
Still ahead, an upbeat story from Israel. Say goodbye to gridlock. New technology is cutting down on traffic delays by 70%, and it's not just helping cars navigate the city more efficiently, it's saving lives as well. Plus, a business CEO explains how parents raising children can help manage the chaos inside their home. We've got the stories for you when we come back right after this. Israel is known for its creative technologies which provide solutions to problems all over the world. Well, now, one Israeli company is taking on a frustrating issue, traffic. Paul Strand reports from Tel Aviv on a system that is aimed at clearing traffic jams while improving safety.
Arg, traffic, everybody hates it. But one Israeli company has come up with a system to make traffic flow much more smoothly, that can turn lights exactly when needed, warn drivers away from potential accidents, and unsnarl rush hour commutes.
It's an invention of No Traffic, headquartered here in Tel Aviv. When the company is enlisted to take over a community's traffic system, No Traffic puts these sensors at intersections that then connect to sophisticated artificial intelligence.
And from that point on, the system works by itself autonomously.
CEO Tal Kreisler says these artificial eyes then watch movements in and around those intersections.
Private vehicles, buses, pedestrians, bicycles, scooters, whatever.
AI then proceeds to orchestrate traffic flow in order to keep it moving safely and quickly. That's led to amazing improvements in limiting the time motors are held up.
We've managed to cut dramatic amount. We're talking about 70% of delay time.
With vehicles more computerized than ever, this new system will be able to communicate directly with individual drivers. That could lead to a warning about a pedestrian potentially in a blind spot about to cross in front of them. Another safety element is the system's ability to gauge if an oncoming vehicle might run a red light. If so, it can alert nearby drivers while also changing other lights to red at that intersection to prevent collisions. When accidents do happen, it can immediately contact first responders, then give them green lights all the way.
About 70% of fatality cases happening in the first hour after the accident. So literally every minute that we are saving, literally saving life.
Research shows an updated traffic system is sorely needed worldwide. That's because an additional 90 million cars hit the road each year. Traffic congestion increases 12% annually. As for those lights that hold you up block after block,
the way that we are operating them is remained the same for the last 100 years or so.
And there's little to no connection from intersection to intersection.
Most of the intersections out there are not connected to anything. They just run by themselves.
With no traffic sensors and artificial intelligence saturating a city's traffic grid, it enables each intersection to communicate with all the others. That allows the system to make split-second decisions to keep traffic moving. These sensors are designed to withstand the wear and tear that comes from constantly being out in the elements. Ian Fountain and his lab techs ensure each piece can stand up to the most extreme conditions.
We put them in the ovens, we heat them, we cool them, we add humidity.
In Fahrenheit, that's a range from -31 to a super hot 167 degrees. Now that a number of states like Florida, Arizona, and California utilize the system, no traffic is found that in a mid-sized city, its platform has reduced waiting times by as much as 50% or more. That efficiency can remove around 26,000 tons of CO2 emissions each year. That's like the pollution from 5,700 cars simply vanishing. To Chrysler, it's all positive transformation.
Improving our life, reducing emissions, generating massive amounts of time that we can now spend with our loved ones. And I think this is one of the things that we are the most proud of, like literally transforming the world to a better place.
The atmosphere and attitudes in Israel make it easier for an innovative system like no traffics to be created here. Innovators are welcomed and cherished. Smart forward thinking is valued and rewarded. And Israelis see themselves as people who can solve global problems, both large and small, who can dream up solutions not yet seen, but waiting to be dreamed. Paul Strand, CBN News, reporting from Tel Aviv.
Turning from the chaos of traffic to the difficulties of raising children, parents will tell you managing the home front remains a constant struggle. On this week's Healthy Living program, business CEO Conor Gallagher explains his family management system to bring business principles into the picture. Take a look.
You have developed a system, which is very businesslike, to help people manage their families and keep them peaceful and productive, and as I said before, honor God. There are 6 main components, right?
Correct, yeah.
So what is the first one?
Yeah, so vision. It starts with vision. So, Lori, if you're going to go out, anybody who's going to go out and start a business, the first thing they're going to do, they've learned to do it in the business world, is write a mission statement or a vision statement. You know, what is the purpose of this family that God has put together? And so, you know, I was good at writing vision statements for the different businesses that I did. And I said, well, where's my vision statement for my family? You know, and so I developed tools to help families really consider, why did God build this family? Like, God brought, there's 8 billion people on earth. God chose me and this girl named Ashley and put us together and gave us all these kids. And every family has that story. And so I really started saying, what is the vision that God has for our family? And vision, Lori, is not the same thing as sight, right? So I can see this microphone in front of me. I can see my can of water right here in front of me. But vision is the ability to see that which is not yet there. It's a visionary. It's like a mystic, someone who has an apparition. They are seeing that which is capable of being, but is not really yet in front of them. And I think amidst the chaos and stress that you're talking about that families go through, having a vision of what your family can become takes imagination and prayer and creativity and teamwork. And so the first part is vision, and it's probably the single most important part of the entire system.
Can you give me an example of what a vision statement for a family would look and sound like?
Yeah, so our vision statement is the purpose of the Gallagher family is to help each other become holy so that we can all achieve our God-given vocations. We aim to achieve this by prayer, charitable interactions, and humility. Period. That's it. So that took us time to craft, and it changes and it evolves. And, you know, sometimes we say it a little differently. It is written out on a beautiful form that we have, and it's on our wall. But that's an example of what is the purpose of the family that God put together. And then I like to add, we aim to achieve this by. So you have a couple little extra phrases there saying, how are you going to accomplish this? And that's really where you get into like core values. What are these core values or core virtues, I like to say, that God wants you to use, the attributes, the characteristics you need to accomplish the vision that you think God has for you? So that's an example of ours.
So I guess the parents would come up with the vision statement by themselves if the children are very young, but if they're older, they can participate.
Correct. In fact, a friendly amendment. I would say that we can involve our children in this far younger than people think. Okay, now a 1-year-old's not going to do anything except get in the way. However, 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds, you'd be amazed, Lori. Now, you have to be creative as a mom and dad to like extract information from them. But very often, more than people think, God gives these little innocent children wisdom and insight that we sometimes are missing because of our busyness and our way of overcomplicating things.
You can hear about the other 5 components of the family management system on this week's edition of Healthy Living. Today on the CBN News Channel, it begins at 2:30 Eastern and 8:30 Eastern. You can also see it on the CBN News app or watch it on YouTube. Christian women from across America came together to pray in the nation's capital. They're praying for America this weekend. We'll have that story for you when we come back.
Get your daily quick start from CBN News. A quick read on the important news of the day delivered right to your inbox. Stay current on breaking news, politics, and entertainment. Go to quickstart.news and subscribe today.
Christian women from across America gathered on the National Mall to pray for the country Saturday. Organizers titled it "A Million Women" and held it on the Jewish holy day of Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement. The crowd worshiped and prayed for America to return to God. From the stage, speakers called for prayer on issues ranging from rising crime, religious persecution, the growing LGBTQ movement in America, and abortion. Right now, it is time for your Tuesday Tweetable. It's a message of encouragement for you to post, tag, tweet, and share with those in your circles of influence. Today, it's a quote I heard someone share this morning. Who you are is God's gift to you. Who you become is your gift to Him. So what will you offer Him? Don't waste this gift He's given us. It's life. Offer Him a life that honors Him. Well, that will do it for this edition of CBN NewsWatch. I want to remind you can always find more of our news programs on the CBN News Channel. You can find them there at any time as well as online. That's cbnnews.com. Take a moment. Let us know what you think about the stories you've seen today. You can email us, newswatch@cbn.com. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Goodbye and bless.